Hey, it's D. It's a brand new episode coming right for you, right on the FTO network. Enjoy.
All right, finally got connected. This is, I'm sitting in my car again doing this. I know last time I was at home, this time I'm in my car, talking about all the things that is DC again. Like, it seems like the main topic of conversation for me when it comes to talking about, like, news on my lives. Today is Viola Davis doing her thing, and, it is like a possibility that may be happening, that Viola Davis may be starring in her own role on HBO Max as Amanda Waller in the Suicide Squad spinoff / Peacemaker spinoff. What's up, Gerd Clothing? How's it going? Love your clothing. We gotta connect one day in the future and talk about like some merch and possibilities of distribution of FTO ideas. Like I love your work so much, But Viola Davis is in talk for Amanda Waller on HBO Max, and this is like the thing that I keep talking about when it comes like to DC doing their thing and Marvel also doing their thing, with putting like black and brown characters in the spotlight, putting characters of color like in their own hit series. We just heard a couple of weeks ago that John Constantine could possibly be black and have his own TV show on HBO Max as well. We saw all the TV shows that are being canceled on the CW. There is like tons of rumors out there that's saying that the shows from CW could be canceled and put on HBO Max and give it more of an edgy feel for the older audiences who may like the edgier look and feel to what they do. And like, I gotta tell you, I'm here for it. I'm here to see something like that. But I'm really interested to see like how DC is gonna pull this off, because if you guys watch Peacemaker, and this is gonna be a spoiler alert for most of you out there, Peacemaker ended on exposing kind of ending for Task Force X / Suicide Squad. Like, everyone kind of knows what they are, and they're supposed to be like a shadow cabinet. They're supposed to be like a secret organization, and like, yeah, and like that's that's how I see it also, Fukunami. Like, it's time like to put like the edginess from DC on HBO Max. So like, I haven't watched Moon Knight, but I keep hearing like nothing but like it pushes that threshold of mental health. It pushes that threshold of violence without like, going over the top. It pushes that edge of like going super hyper like action pack, but still being family oriented. And like, if we watch Peacemaker and like take any pieces of that from DC and what they show us, like, DC has no problem, or HBO Max has no problem with pushing that boundary. They have no problem with showing us that we can show you blood and guts. We can show you sexual oriented content. We can show you like hard topics. We can show you like all these things and still give you like the entertainment that you're looking for. What's up, Groovy? And keep having you see what these characters are really all about. And like, yeah, we got a lot to thank for James Gunn for doing that. James Gunn did kind of like put that idea on the forefront when it comes to like the DC Universe, HBO Max brand. Yeah, of course, we all know that Zack Snyder tried his thing, and it didn't really like take off the way that he wanted it to. But I really do think that this is like the future that we're going to be seeing a lot of. Like, as I said before, like we could possibly get like a good John Constantine that's a black man and also British, and like have that kind of feel that's out there. Whether you like it or not, like, it could possibly be a thing, and like it could possibly be like a revolutionary thing when it comes to the DC brand, and especially if you incorporate the Flashpoint movie that's gonna be changed around because of Ezra Miller situation, and like in our real time life, and how Aquaman is changing their thing because of Amber Heard and her real time life situation. Like, you got like a lot of rewrites and changes, and really like comic book type situations going on, because like when writers leave, you got to get a new writer on and switch it up. When an actor leaves, you can throw the multiverse at it. Like, I was just talking about this earlier with on my Twitter about the Fantastic Four, about how Marvel is pushing the Fantastic Four more of as I think Fantastic Four is the best idea for the MCU. Like, I literally think that the Fantastic Four is the best idea for the MCU. with this Multiverse of Madness coming out, and it's gonna be so much different changes. You got all the TV shows. You got like America Chavez like doing her thing. You got the Hawkeye show. You got the Falcon and Winter Soldier. You have like a new Avengers movie coming out. You got the Marvels. You got Miss Marvel. You have like all these different characters that people like either have no idea about or just learning about. Then you got like Thor, Love and Thunder. Like it could possibly be a flop because like it looks very different than all like the other Thor movies that you've seen. And you got like all these different changes. And I honestly think that like the thing that people really gravitated towards the most was Tony Stark, Iron Man. And to give the linchpin that is a Fantastic Four, that is like a stable, unstable family. Like you got Reed Richards, like who's like a work obsessed intellectual. You got Sue Storm, who's like an emotionally hyperistic intellectual. Also, you got Johnny Storm, like who's like a showboating hothead, and you got like Ben Grimm, like who's just like a man who wants to exist, essentially. Like, you know, like a worker type who just wants to do his job and just be happy. You have like all those different dynamics, and I think like you can spread those characters out and bring us more characters, like Transformers style, show us more characters throughout those 4 characters, and really like bring it all back together with the Avengers, with the Fantastic Four, with the Fantastic Five, and like, you know, put like the Spider-Man into like a universe of the Fantastic Four, bring the X-Men and stuff like that. Then like you can really like put a revolving door of characters throughout the Fantastic Four, much like you did with Tony Stark in the Avengers, but with the first family of Marvel. And if you sell that first family, also with it being at Disney, I really think that is the best option that the MCU has when it comes like to approaching and promoting this type of idea to their fan base. Like I honestly believe that, and I honestly feel like Amanda Waller having a series on HBO Max, considering that most people out there want to see more edgy, more gritty types of entertainment, is the best way to go. I'm not exactly sure what your question is, Fukunami. Like with those developments, what Fukunami is asking me is, with those developments, would you dive into the MCU? Me personally, I guess like that's what you're asking me. Me personally, like I want to watch Marvels. I want to watch the Marvels. I want to see what that's all about. I don't think Miss Marvel is for me. I don't think like that. I'm the demographic for that. I think it's gonna be like Naomi all over again. Like that's not for me. That's for like a different generation, which is like, you know, cool. I'm glad like people are getting what they're getting, but like that's not for me. I feel like Moon Knight is definitely in my wheelhouse, but like, you know, I'm just getting over my thing with like the Don't Say Gay bill in Florida, and like in Disney like getting like, you know, their consequences of not saying anything, then like later on saying something. I feel like I need to get myself into that space of like forgiving Disney, because they are like trying their best to appease like people who are part of the LGBTQ community. So I think Moon Knight is a part of like the thing I need to get myself into, because I think I will like it. If Yo and Nerd said anything like, you know, at all, that's part of the way to go for me, is like watching Moon Knight. I do think the Multiverse of Madness is gonna flop. That's me talking, but like I think a lot of people are gonna watch it anyway. But I think it's gonna like not flop in the sense that it's not gonna make any money, not gonna be sensational. Just like it's not gonna be a good movie in my eyes. Like I feel like I won't like it. And I do think like if you include all those characters into the MCU, if you do put like, you know, more diverse writing into the MCU, I could get more into it. Like I feel like I could possibly maybe see myself incorporating some type of fondness for the MCU, but like the writing has to change, man. Like the writing really has to change itself in the MCU. I can't do generic. I just can't. Like popcorn stuff, it's good every once in a while. Like watching a Die Hard movie every 5 years, like that's fine. Like I can do that. Watching like, you know, an action movie, like a Mission Impossible film, like those Mission Impossible movies, or like the Fast and Furious comes out every once in a while, I can do that every once in a while. But like doing like 3 of those kind of movies a year, like dude, like I like movies. Like they're not like high quality film. They're just like, they're popcorn fodder. And like going to the theaters is expensive. And then I gotta like listen to the hype of it while like people are talking about it for months until it comes out on like on video or on demand to stream. And like it's already been ruined for me. Ruined in the sense like, I know all the highlights. Not spoiled like, I can't watch it now because like everyone's been talking about it. Just like I won't get any enjoyment out of it because like I've already heard you guys talk about it, like, at your wit's end. Like I get it. Like I know what's gonna happen. Well, I know that's gonna happen. Well, I saw that's gonna happen. Like I saw tons of memes about that. Like the MCU fans like ruined the experience for those who may want to watch these movies and get into it by not shutting up about it. But what's the group saying? Like you think the story that they're telling in the new Doctor Strange movie is not going to be a cohesive one. I don't think it won't be cohesive. It's a multiverse. It's kind of hard to be cohesive with a story that goes into different universes that are similar to the universe that you're already established inside of. It's already hard. It's really difficult, like, to make that a cohesive story. Like that theory of the multiverse alone is already kind of convoluted because you have to make it make sense because like we haven't really seen it in fruition. So like that doesn't really matter to me. Like the cohesiveness to it. My thing is like the enjoyment of it. If it's not enjoyable, like I'm out. Like there's been multiple times like I saw these movies, I just wanted to fall asleep. Like they're painfully long, and like the payment, like the satisfaction payment to it, it's not really worth it. It's not really there for me. And like I know like the Batman movie was a long movie also, but like you got substance in almost every scene of that movie. And this isn't like a DC Marvel thing. This is like me talking about like a long film, both superhero films, and like I don't get that kind of substance with the MCU. I don't get that kind of writing with the MCU. I don't get that kind of like joy and satisfaction with the MCU. I used to, mind you, but not anymore. They do have certain things laid out. And like they have like a whole like diaspora story that they already have set for everybody, and it's not really like catered to people like myself. And like you talk about like the MCU built on a lot of missing elements that made Marvel compelling, or that makes Marvel compelling. I feel like ignoring the source material is a big reason behind that. It's like ignoring like where these characters originated from in the comic books is like a big deterrent for a lot of us. Like there's times like I'm watching Young Justice and it takes me out of the story because they ignore the source material. Like not to say like the stories in Young Justice, the TV show, isn't worth watching. It's just like when you keep ignoring the source material and like you just like trying to switch it around and give like a whole different bend to it, like it really takes me out of it. But like the beauty of Young Justice and like the deterrent of the MCU is that the Young Justice show try to work around the source material to give you like a new story, to give you a new layer, to give you like a new meaning and definition as to why these characters are doing what they're doing. The MCU just tells you they're doing it. And like that is problematic for me. Like, I disagree with that. With Seaside, Viola Davis had picked like a lot of good roles, like the Michelle Obama role. Like everyone's talking about that. Whether they like her in it or not, like people still talking about it. Of course, like How to Get Away with Murder. That show lasted for over 5 seasons, and like people are still talking about that show. She got like tons of films that are still coming out. Like she's like stellar class, and doesn't get the respect that she absolutely deserves. And I feel like that's the overlook that a lot of people seem to get with her. Like I've heard a story recently about Viola Davis that people thought that she wasn't, like they didn't know who she was. She's the Oscar winner. Like she's someone to be looked at and to be noticed. And I feel like people dismiss her simply because she's black at times, and like her work is stellar. I think like she's just so good, you just don't seem to get like how good she is. And like I'm all here for her type of work that she puts in anything. Yeah, the foundation is there for the MCU. Like it is. It really is. I do think they gotta steer away from this Disney aspect. And as I said before, they need to put their stuff on Hulu. You got less restrictions. I see that Deadpool is possibly filming right now. I don't know how that's going to work out. I do wish that DC had like some stills. I know that Leslie Grace is doing her Batgirl thing, and that looks incredible. It looks really good. Like it takes place in the Michael Keaton Batman world, and they're hyping that up. Some alteration to the suits when it comes to the Batman of '89 to the Batman now. I think like this Batman, this Batgirl story lends itself to Batman Beyond, which is something I am definitely here for seeing, especially if Keaton is like the older Bruce Wayne. Viola Davis is a household name. I agree with you completely. Viola Davis is a household name, like, and she should like like I know we said things like this before, like Jim Carrey when he was first breaking out from In Living Color, like he picked a lot of bad roles in like early on in his career. Will Ferrell, when he left SNL, picked a lot of bad films when he was like trying to like do his thing outside of that. There's been like a lot of actors like who may have possibly picked bad roles but had like names behind them. I don't think Viola Davis is one of them. I don't think like she's in that category. I think like she picked things that she wants to do, and like if you hear her talk in interviews, like that's how she picks her roles. Like she doesn't pick things that's going to be sensational that everyone's going to be talking about. She picks something that she wants to do because like that's what she's drawn to, and like I see myself in like the way I run FTO in the same manner. Like I don't put stuff out that everyone's going to like. I don't put stuff out that everyone's going to be talking about. I put stuff out that like I want to talk about. I put stuff out that like I want to actually have conversations about, not slander people or talk down about others or like this throw bigotry out there because we see enough of that already. We have enough problems in our lives already. Like that's not like the kind of like path I want to go about when I talk about fictional characters and real life actors in portraying these roles. Like I want to talk about like the story, the nuance, like the struggle of good and evil, like the perseverance of like of being in the gray. Like I want to talk about that. Like and like we see that in games, we see that in anime, we see that in comics, in cartoon shows, and I feel like a lot of that type of nuance is still missing with a lot of us. And if I can detour a second from talking about Viola Davis in the MCU, I think his name is Tony Weaver. I think I talked about this with Frosty of Fukuname before. Like he has like the night skin hashtag going on, and like he's essentially becomes like like the arbiter of like the black nerd community. Like he's becoming the face of it. He's becoming like the face of black nerds. He's rallying people like to embrace their nerdiness. Like even if it's more of a dark or fantasy type of view of it, like he's still putting that out there for people to see. Like he's doing this his way, and like whether you like Weaver or not, like he's still doing things his way. Like me personally, like I can't watch a lot of his videos. Like he has like an approach to how he does things, which isn't really my cup of tea. But I respect what he does, and like I do watch his stuff. I do like repost his things. I do talk about his work on a constant because like he is doing something for the black community that I don't see many people doing. Like he's having fun with it while calling people out for being bigots. Like he has a zero tolerance just like I do when it comes to bigots. And like, he really puts that out there. Like yeah, his commentary is great on his page. Like he really like he puts things out there for people like to see what they're doing, but like also while they're consuming things that tells them like what you're doing is wrong. And like the cognitive dissonance with a lot of these fans, primarily like white fans, like they don't seem to get it. They don't seem like to get like the in between of like you're being oppressive, you're being dismissive, and you're being like bigoted towards individuals simply for existing. But like you read these stories about protagonists, and you can't seem like the graphic like these protagonists are brave, they're stoic, they're anti-bigotry, they're anti-bully, which is exactly what you're doing. Like I can't negate that from Weaver. Whether I like him or not, like I can't negate that. And like hashtag Nightskin is like the culmination of that. It's in the same guise of like the N-word. We're claiming the N-word, essentially. Like, you know, it's the new N-word for nerds, for geeks, essentially. I mean, I'm not one to call somebody annoying, because I talk about mental health, I talk about politics, I talk about zero tolerance towards any kind of like hate and bigotry all the time, and like some people can see that as being annoying also. So like I'm not the person to call somebody annoying, but he does have an approach that can sometimes wane on me at times, and his manga is coming out soon. It's a cute little manga. It's pretty much like a story about finding yourself, and essentially I think there's a power of friendship, which is pretty cool. I think much like how Cat Williams and Larry the Cable Guy does their voice, I think like that is a voice that he creates to be the character of his brand. And I don't think that's his real voice. I think that's just a voice. That's just a voice he puts out there for people to listen to. That's just how he does it. Because how else are you going to pay attention to him if he has a voice, you know, like this, talking to people about these real issues and real topics? It has to be in a really cartoony kind of way for you just to understand what he's saying to you, because how else are you going to take me serious unless I'm wearing this silly hat, my goofy glasses, and this weird voice? You know what I mean? So like he has to do that, and I get it, but like that's not me. I can't be that. Like as much as I hate like to compare myself to Dave Chappelle, but like Dave Chappelle like had like a zero tolerance from wearing dresses. Like I am in the same mindscape. That's not really my cup of tea. Like wearing glasses, I respect anyone who does it. Key and Peele did it for a good while, and I loved it, and I laughed at the Monty Python. Same thing, like that's their thing. But like I can't put no dress on, dude. I won't even wear a mustard or ketchup costume. Like, you know, I just take myself too serious. I just like, so like doing that voice, like to brand myself, I can't do that, but he does, and I respect the fuck out of it. Like, you know, he's on top of it. I'm too I'm too good at it. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. But I think that's about my time I have for here. I should probably get myself to work. I wanted to just spend about 10 minutes just talking about this. Viola Davis in talks for Amanda Waller series on HBO Max. Like I'm 110% here for this, man. Like you can't tell me no. Like I'm yes. Like yes. Just check the box, get the green light, and go into production. Let's do all these things. Enjoy your night. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for all the others who stopped by and said some words. I appreciate it. It is great news. It is very awesome news. Last week was not a fun news week for me, but this really perked me up, really woke me up. Like, well, time to talk about it. Let's talk about it. So enjoy your night, everybody. Have a good Wednesday, and may the 4th be with you.
Hey guys, D here of FTO Nerd Talk. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow, tell your friends about FTO Nerd Talk. Got a lot of different shows for all of you. Make sure you tune in every week for a brand new episode. Take it easy.